horrific on what happened with those Easter storms. They're calling them Easter storms. I wish they would not relate that to Easter,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's not what Jesus is all about. But I'll tell you this, Jesus is about the healing process that's going on in a lot of families right now, the lives that were lost. That just breaks our heart. If you've had to travel through that, no, we're praying for you at His Radio. And then to see the pictures like a day later of some of the houses that have trees on them and cars and everything else has just been something else to start to watch. They're starting to show up on our Care Community page as well.
Yeah, and it looks like at least 32 people across the South lost their lives in those storms. But it's a couple of miles from us. There's a home that was destroyed by a tree that fell. And whether it was from a tornado or just the heavy rains that came through and the ground being saturated, we don't know. But there's a lot of hurting folks this morning.
So it's just right up the road from you where that happened?
Yeah, it really is. Maybe 3 miles, possibly.
And you didn't even hear it.
No, and in fact, as I left the house yesterday, had to run out and get gas, and I saw probably 10 trees on one road, on the road that led to my son's elementary school when they went there.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was even that close.
Good night. That's just something else. Well, there's a lot of people needing a lot of help, and know that we are praying right along with you at His Radio, seeing some of the pictures. I saw one just on the other side of Atlanta where the house literally was in the middle of the road. And the tornado pushed this house into the middle of the road. It is unbelievable. You're right.
Yeah. And did you see the picture of the house that was pretty much destroyed? I want to say this was in Alabama, not exactly sure, but on the counter was still a pound cake in the cake plate, in the crystal cake plate.
Get out.
The pound cake made it through. It was like, how does a tornado do that? Such massive winds, and yet the cake is still there.
Cake just didn't go anywhere. That is amazing. Well, know that we're praying along with you. If you need prayer through this whole thing, I know it's like a lot of relief efforts that's going on in the middle of social distancing. Our prayer line is always open. So here's the number. It's 866-987-7729.
His Morning Crew.
Let me read a post to you from David Shirley. And he said this: the south side of the city was slammed. He's talking about the city of Seneca. Numerous homes totally destroyed. Power lines, telephone poles down everywhere. Streets impassable. It looks like a war zone. David Shirley is along with us. He's from the Beaver Dam Baptist Association Disaster Relief Chainsaw Team. Your feet are on the ground, and you've seen this firsthand. What is it that you're witnessing after these storms yesterday?
Yeah, it's Rob, it's the most amazing thing. Like I said, streets are impassable. The entire south side of Seneca has been blocked off. You can't get down streets. I mean, huge trees, 100-year-old oak trees just tossed over like toothpicks. And so it's complete devastation. We've had the churches that have been damaged. And so it's utter devastation right now.
And your family even was affected directly. What happened with your mom and dad's house?
Yeah, my mom is 94, and her house, she slept through the storm, slept like a baby in the house, but her garage that's detached from the house collapsed on top of her truck, my boat, and lawnmower. But all of those are underneath the garage right now. But the house itself was fine, and so yeah, we got over here as quick as we could after the things cleared, and had to bang on the window to wake her up. But wow. She came to the door and noticed everything had collapsed on top of the truck and the boat and the lawnmower out in the garage.
David Shirley is along with us. He's a part of a disaster relief team in Seneca, South Carolina, where he's seen things firsthand. He's a part of the chainsaw ministry, helping to cut off the trees and get everything underway. You've come directly in contact with these people. What are they feeling right now?
You know, it's been an amazing thing. I've never seen folks come together, neighborhoods come together. We've been bombarded with requests from everywhere, people wanting to come help. But the folks have the greatest attitude. They're just pulling together, neighbor helping neighbor, friend helping friend. Churches have just jumped in and are doing a phenomenal job of ministering to people. We've got chainsaw teams out. We've got food units out. It's just an amazing thing to see. Not anger, not bitterness, just absolute a community coming together in the midst of the COVID-19 thing. This has just been crazy. You go from self-isolation and distancing to an entire community coming together and helping, wherever the help is needed.
Right. So what would you say to people, because these storms, of course, affected the entire South, they could be anywhere listening. What would you say right now? And that the need is going to change, I would think, day to day to day. But what is that immediate need maybe for this afternoon?
The big thing right now is still the power lines are all down. And so we're waiting on a lot of the power companies. We've got some hotlines. So it's still a dangerous situation. But right now, the biggest need we have is clearing the roads, just being able to get to people, get to neighborhoods. There are entire neighborhoods that are cut off that can't get out of their communities. And so, it's right now, the power being made safe by the utility companies where we can get in and start clearing.
David Shirley along with us. He's a part of disaster relief team that's in the middle of Seneca right now, helping the need. Where are the people going that have to be social distance now that lost their homes with this?
Well, there's some of them that stayed in a church last night. Most of them are staying that lost their homes with family. And so, there's some folks that have donated some campers, family members that have made campers available. And so it's just really folks helping folks out.
It's incredible. David Shirley along with us. We will post how you can get in contact with the ministry if you want to help out.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio, connected to Zoom in Myrtle Beach with Paige. Now, Paige, her and her husband own this restaurant. It's Z's Kitchen in Myrtle Beach. But just like a lot of other people, there's not people going out because of social distancing. And so Paige and her husband came up with this brilliant idea and thought, people need groceries. We've got this huge trailer. They're going into communities, and you have the groceries in hand for them. They're coming to you because you're going to them, Paige. I think that's brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited to be doing this. We know that there's a need. We have the things that some of them can't get in the grocery stores, like sanitizer, toilet paper, paper towels. But we also have groceries like meats that it's still kind of hard to find in the grocery stores.
Yeah, and I love that the cost, because I'm looking at your menu on your Facebook page now for the grocery, which is what you call it, but like a 6-ounce sirloin, $5. So you're keeping those prices in check for everybody to make it reasonable, and you're getting out there in those communities, like Rob said.
We are, and the thing with the pricing is not only is it, hopefully relatively inexpensive or comparable to grocery store pricing, it's also restaurant quality, which means it's going to be a different type of meat. It's not the same thing you can get in just a normal grocery store. So a lot of our stuff is certified Angus beef, which is, if you get it in the grocery store, it's going to be a lot more expensive than what it is that we're selling it for.
The thing I'm so curious about is the neighborhoods that you're going into and what people are saying when you pull up with this big trailer that's full of groceries.
A lot of people don't believe how big it is when we first pull up. I mean, it's a huge trailer. When you've got the trailer itself with the 3 windows, and then you've got a truck in front of it, you're talking about, I'm trying to show you everything. You're talking about 63 feet of truck and trailer, and it's about 15 feet tall. So people are just amazed at how big it is. But then they like the fact that we have all of their groceries. We have fresh produce, we have fresh vegetables that we get from a produce supplier here in town. Again, we've got, let me see if I can turn this. Can I turn it around?
Yeah, you probably can. She's connected up to Zoom, so she's showing this on his radio TV.
Yeah, how do people know where you're going to be? Do you put out a daily list of here's the neighborhoods we're going to, or can people say, will you please come to my neighborhood?
Both. So we have a lot of people who have requested that we come to their neighborhoods. And then we have created a schedule that we have posted on our Facebook page, and we're going into neighborhoods throughout the entire county, or at least we're trying to. Right now, today, we're going to be up in the Little River area. for 2 stops, and then we go down to the Surfside area for our 3rd stop. So we start at 9 this morning and we'll end at 5 this evening.
Since you're getting straight into the community, going straight to the neighborhoods, what's the gauge of the need that you're seeing for people right now?
It depends on the different communities. Some of the communities we've gone into, we've seen a lot of people, again, needing those cleaning products or the toilet paper products, the paper products. But then again, some of the other communities, they have just bought us up out of our chicken and our steak and things like that. So it really depends on what community we're going into. We're actually right now working on trying to get EBT and SNAP, Vick, to go through our point of sale system so that we can go into those lower income communities, or just those people who have been on unemployment and have filed for that because they don't have the money right now.
That's incredible that you're doing that, adding that extra service. You've really thought of everything and really connected those dots.
We're trying to.
Paige, we love you. Thank you for what you're doing for the community. You and your husband are doing a fabulous job just serving people and making sure that they're going to
Rob
be okay.
and Liz.
His morning crew.
Okay, I know you're supposed to clean a lot of stuff because of COVID-19 right now, but I had no idea till I read this that there's things that we're supposed to clean that I completely forgot about.
Okay, like what?
Okay, so Dr. Lisa Ackerley, she's a hygiene doctor. She says wash the pillows and the duvet cover. Makes sense because I don't think about washing the pillows all the time. I'm not talking about the pillow covers. I'm talking about the pillows.
Oh, the actual pillow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is the duvet, a duvet cover, is that the cover, is that the blanket over your bed?
It's, if I know correctly, you put like your coverlet or bedspread inside of the duvet cover.
Okay. I don't know what that is. All right. Now, here's the thing that she pointed out, your mattress. I don't know how to clean a mattress, but she said clean the mattress at least once a month and then the sheets weekly. Okay, that makes sense with the sheets. I forget about the robe and slippers, although I don't wear slippers. And then the shower curtain, tea towels, and the sponge.
Oh, the sponge. I don't use a sponge. Do you use a sponge?
I don't at all. Used to years ago.
Right.
But don't use a sponge. But of course, we have the wash rag. You know,
sure.
The kitchen sink and that kind of stuff. So we have to keep that clean because you're washing dishes all the time with that. That's if you wash some dishes and not in the dishwasher.
But I got to know, who is cleaning their mattress every month? I don't
How do you do that?
Do it? Yeah.
I'm like, bring it to the laundromat. Do you dry it on top of your car as you're driving home? I mean, what gives here?
Do you have to use soap and water, or is it more of a dirt devil kind of a thing, or beat it out, or I don't know.
His morning crew.
We were just talking about what this one doctor was saying and pointing some things out on what you wash, like your shower curtain, your slippers, your robe, your actual pillow, not just the pillow cover, but the actual pillow itself, and the mattress. And we're thinking, how in the world do you clean a mattress?
Well, Walter told us how you clean a mattress, and he said you use a steamer like you use on your clothes. Now, I don't know. I gotta get more in depth with this because I gotta figure out how this cleans it and what you do. How do you dry it? You put it in the dryer?
Do you add soap
I don't know.
when you do the cleaner?
Yeah, and
So that's the text that Walter sent through, right? Okay.
Yes, and you're supposed to do it monthly. You're supposed to clean your mattress monthly. Have you ever cleaned your mattress?
Not me. I don't know how.
Either. I don't either.
No,
And
I feel dirty. It's like it's like I never cleaned my mattress. You know, the last mattress we had, we finally got a new mattress in January. January this year. Last mattress we had was 20 years old.
I'm not even going to talk. I know, because I'm in the same boat.
I've just grossed myself out.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Hulk Hogan, you know the guy, right? The wrestler, Hulk Hogan. He has been socially distant in Florida. He lives in Clearwater. I remember sightings of Hulk Hogan when I used to live in Florida. I moved here 20 years ago, but he's from Florida. Even when he was with the WWE, he was still living in Florida. That's where he's from. So you'd see these Hulk Hogan sightings. He even had like a reality show on MTV for a while.
I didn't know that. Like when
Yeah.
they had sightings of Hulk Hogan, was he in
Hogan-
full wrestler gear?
No. But it was.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to remember the name. Hogan Knows Best, I think it was, because he was a dad.
Oh, the
He had his kids and all that other stuff. But since then, he's really dedicated his life more so to his faith than ever before.
That's
And he's
awesome.
posted all this stuff on his social media about God during social distancing. Like, for instance, here's one thing he said. He said, God said, and I'm quoting Hulk Hogan here. I never thought I'd quote Hulk Hogan in my life, but he's saying, God said, you want to worship athletes? I'll shut down the stadiums. You want to worship musicians? I'll shut down civic centers. You want to worship actors? I'll shut down theaters. You want to worship money? I'll shut down the economy and collapse the stock market. You don't want to go to church and worship me? I'll make it where you can't go to church. These are quotes from Hulk Hogan, and then he goes on into Second Chronicles 7:14, where it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven, I'll forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. These are quotes and postings of Hulk Hogan on his social media. He's really convicted right now in his faith.
Wow. Would you ever in your life think you would have quoted scripture that Hulk Hogan quoted ever?
Yeah, so now when he says, all right, brother, that's like, I know I didn't give him justice there in that. That's the only quote I know from Hulk Hogan from back in the day. But yeah, Hulk Hogan, telling it like it is.
His morning crew.
When you start thinking about COVID-19, a lot of people are like, okay, what can I do to keep my system healthy? And so there are actually some foods that they're saying that we can eat and ingest that's going to help the immune system a little bit.
Talking about things like, well, first of all, vitamins, vitamin C, and we should be doing that anyway, just to keep down the threat of a flu or a cold or whatever. But they're also saying mushrooms. I'm going to have a real hard time with that one. I don't like mushrooms.
You don't have it like on your steak or anything? Mushrooms on your steak?
It's a texture thing. I can't even do it. I can't go there.
They have to be cooked a certain way, but I do like mushrooms. But they're also talking about like sweet potatoes and carrots and orange. I've never heard of orange tomatoes. What in the world is that?
Oh, I don't know what an orange tomato is. I've heard of a cherry tomato, but not an orange tomato.
Cantaloupe, leafy greens, things like that. Plus the vitamin E, right?
Oh, yeah, those oils. And I like that they're saying like basil and thyme and rosemary and sage. I use those all the time, especially when I'm cooking chicken. So we're already getting a healthy dose of that. So 2 thumbs up.
There you go. So those are just some of the things that we can do while we're social distance and still trying to keep the immune system up just a little bit. If you've got some ideas and some things have been helping you, we'd love to hear from you. You can use the open mic on the My His Radio app or text us at 800-447-7234.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
If we thought about it 5-10 years ago, what we're doing, even you and I, Rob, we're broadcasting on Zoom every morning so we can see each other. On Easter Sunday, we had our youth group at church that did a Zoom performance for everybody. It was just incredible. Well, the U.S. Naval Academy, their combined men and women's Glee Club, they performed America the Beautiful, and it's going viral. People are watching it, listening to it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Choirs around the country are doing this. I love it.
Yeah, okay. Little inside the behind the scenes of Rob's life.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a choir virtually coming up in a couple of Sundays.
No, you are not.
It'll be one of like 25 voices that we're doing a performance on. I hope I didn't give anything away for people to go to my church. I don't know if that was a surprise, but I'm like, this is just so cool that we're able to do this kind of stuff. How people are going, okay, we're going to make the best of it. So we might as well just do it and then still staying connected somehow, some way. Is it the best way to do it? No, but at least it's something that we can do.
Yeah. We're figuring a way around it, and I still haven't gotten the invite to sing for anybody on Zoom yet, so I'm kind of wondering.
Go ahead. Well, it's all right. Go ahead. This is your invitation, Liz, to sing.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Okay. I
Maybe
revoked
that's why.
that invite.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
This Dr. Vick, I don't know if you heard about him yet or not, but he is in the midst of all of this COVID-19 and helping out so many people. By the time he gets home, because he feels he's a risk to his family, he isolates himself in another room somewhere. He just can't be with his family. And he's like, man, this is like 2 weeks I've been isolating myself from my family. So in Richmond Hill, there's this couple that heard about him. They have this RV. It's a 38-foot camper. They live 80 miles from this doctor. They decided we're going to drive this to him, clean it up, make sure it's all sanitized, and we're going to allow him as long as it takes for him to at least be close to his family, not feel like he's going to bring them into danger by bringing any COVID-19 home so that he can stay in this RV. And then some other people are starting to do that around the country to help out other doctors because you can't travel, you can't vacation, there's not all that stuff that's going on. So these folks are choosing as long as it takes. I've got this RV, I'm going to help out this doctor and some other healthcare workers, which is wonderful.
It is so cool. They even have a Facebook page. So if you have an RV and you're like, I could get in on that. This is where we step out of our comfort zone and help people. It is RVs, the number 4 MDs on Facebook.
RV for MDs.
Yeah.
Very
like it.
easy to remember that, right?
Yeah.
We'll post that in our care community, by the way. The care community, which is our Facebook group, about 4,600 people saying we want to help each other out. And if you see toilet paper or other supplies and stuff like that, you can post it on there. We're seeing pictures show up from the storms as well because people now have that need because of the storms that came through the Carolinas and Georgia just yesterday. That was horrific. Praying for those families, by the way, that lost loved ones.
His morning crew.
So neat to see what some cities are doing as they're honoring those that are frontline essential workers.
Yeah, like all over the country, this is happening. It's hashtag Light It Blue, and it is in honor of those healthcare workers and first responders. But it's places like the Freedom Tower, of course, in New York City. Even Niagara Falls had the blue lights cast on the falls, which has got to be amazing. I've never been there. I know Mercedes-Benz Superdome, that's in Louisiana, the Staples Center and LAX, of course, both in LA, all lit up in blue.
Yeah, a lot of cities are doing this. Some cities we don't even know about or haven't seen the pictures of, where they are literally lighting buildings and bridges and everything blue in honor of those who are on the front lines, the hospital workers and the doctors and the nurses and every other healthcare worker that has a job that you and I can't even think of, but still are doing a very vital role in this whole thing with COVID-19. I love that the cities are doing that.
I do too, and I think I might have some blue lights like left over from Christmas. I think a lot of us might have a strand of blue lights. Why don't we do something in our own front yard or maybe wrap the mailbox or something just to show people?
Yeah, and if you see blue lights behind you in a car, you're speeding.
That's different.
Yeah, a lot different. And I don't want to see that at all.